Hello Year 2, how are you? And welcome to today's science lesson. Now today we are going to be learning all about germs and how germs are transferred by touching things. So by the end of today's lesson you'll be able to tell me a little bit about some famous scientists that have made some discoveries and have done some work around germs. And you'll also be able to explain how to wash your hands as well as why it is important to do so. Now to start our lesson today we are going to think back to our history topic from a couple of terms ago on Florence Nightingale. So our first activity is going to be to create a mind map on everything we can remember about Florence Nightingale. So if you could pause the video now and write down everything that you can remember. Okay, Year 2, so let's see what you've remembered. Well, I created a mind map as well, so let's see what I've remembered. Maybe we've got the same information. So the first thing that I remembered was that she went with 38 other nurses to a hospital in Scutari in Turkey in 1854 to help wounded soldiers. So soldiers that had been wounded during the Crimean War. Now, what did she find when she arrived in Scutari? Well, she found that the hospitals were very dirty, weren't they? So infections would spread quickly. Remember, there were lots of people crammed into one hospital and they were all sleeping on the floor. They didn't have clean bedding. They didn't have clean clothes. Lots of them didn't even have a bed, and there were rats running all over the place. Okay, so it was very dirty, and as I said, infections would spread quickly. Now, can we remember what Florence Nightingale and the other nurses did about this? Well, I remember that they cleaned the wards and made sure that bed linens were washed, as well as that the soldiers had clean clothes. Florence Nightingale also made sure that wounds were washed with clean cloth, because before they were washed with dirty cloth, and that was helping the infections to spread. And then finally, I remember that she made sure they had clean water to drink and access to clean toilets. And she also made sure that they had enough food. So there we go. That's what I've remembered about Florence Nightingale. And as I said, Florence Nightingale was a nurse who was very influential, as she did lots of work around hygiene and germs. Okay, so now we are going to learn about two other people, two scientists that have made discoveries and have done work around germs. And those two scientists are Joseph Lister and Alexander Fleming. Now, I wonder if you've heard their names before. Well, let's find out what they did. So the first man here, the first scientist, is Alexander Fleming. Now, Alexander Fleming was a bacteriologist, okay, and he researched different bacteria. So he researched different germs and he told people about them. And in 1928, he discovered that some bacteria, some germs, he had been growing in a dish, had been contaminated, so they'd been made dirty by a fungus. Now, a fungus is a kind of living organism, okay? And an example of a fungus is mold, okay? So mold had started to grow in this dish, okay? And the fungus had destroyed some of the bacteria. So the fungus that had grown, the mold that had grown, had destroyed some of the germs that were in the dish. Now, he started by calling this fungus, this mold juice, okay? And he called it this for several months. But then he decided to call it penicillin. Now, some of you might have heard of penicillin before. So penicillin was the fungus that was killing the germs, okay? And today it is used in lots of antibiotics we take to make us better, okay? So it's used in the antibiotics. Penicillin is used in the antibiotics that we use in order to kill the germs, okay? To get rid of the germs that are causing us to be ill. Okay, so that's our first man, Alexander Fleming, okay? Now, the next man, Joseph Lister. Now, Joseph Lister was a British surgeon, okay? And he thought it was important to have a sterile place for surgeries and to have sterile equipment. Now, does anybody know what sterile means? Well, sterile means that it's free from bacteria, free from germs, that something is completely clean. So he thought it was very important to have clean places to do surgery and clean equipment, okay? Sterile place and sterile equipment. Now, in 1865, Lister tried putting carbolic acid on patients' wounds to stop them from becoming infected. Okay, so he used something called carbolic acid, which is basically disinfectant soap, and he used that to make sure that their wounds didn't become infected. And he also used it to clean the equipment, to make sure that the equipment was sterile. Now, when he realised that carbolic acid stopped people getting infections, he told surgeons to wear gloves, and to wash their hands. Okay, so they used carbolic acid to wash their hands, and it was almost a disinfectant soap that they used to make sure their hands were very sterile before they did any surgery. Okay, so Joseph Lister and Alexander Fleming are two very influential people in this area. Okay, they did lots of work on germs and sterile environments. Okay, so hand washing. Now here you can see a picture of some hands. Okay, and this picture is showing us the areas that sometimes people forget when they're washing their hands. So the red areas are where lots of people forget to wash. So you can see lots of people forget to wash their thumb, lots of people forget to wash the end of their fingers and in between their fingers, as well as in between their thumb and their finger. Okay, so those are the areas that most people forget to wash when they're washing their hands. Now the blue areas are the areas that some people forget to wash. Okay, so it's important when we're washing our hands that we remember this picture, and we remember to wash our thumb, the end of our fingers, in between our fingers, our palms, okay, and the backs of our hands. We forget to wash the front of our hands mostly. Okay, lots of people rub their hands together and remember the palm of our hands, but they actually forget to wash the other side of their hand. Okay, so if you sneeze into your hands, as you know, your germs will be on your hands. If you don't wash your hands, you will transfer them to everything you touch. So if you go to the toilet and you don't wash your hands, and then you go into the classroom and you touch a pencil and you touch a ruler and you touch the table and you touch your chair, then your germs are all over the items that you've touched, okay, because you haven't washed your hands. Also, if you put your hands in your mouth, or you rub your eyes, or you touch your face with them without washing them, you'll also transfer germs into your body. Okay, so that is how important it is to wash your hands and to make sure that we're washing all over our hands and we don't forget the areas that are shown in this picture. So here I have got a video on how to wash your hands. Okay, so to give you steps to make sure that you're washing your hands correctly. So let's watch this video to find out.
How to wash your hands using the World Health Organization's method.
Hi friends, this is how to wash your hands.
Step 1. Wet your hands. Remember friends, we want to wash our hands for at least 20 seconds to make sure we get rid of all of the germs. Step 2. Use enough soap to cover both hands entirely. Step 3. Rub your hands palm to palm. Step 4. Put one palm on top of your other hand. Interlace your fingers and rub. Repeat with the other hand. Step 5. Put your palms together and interlace your fingers and rub. Step 6. Rub the back of your fingers together with your hands in fists. Step 7. Make a fist around your thumb and rub rotationally. Repeat on the other hand. Step 8. Clasp your fingers together and rub them in a circle in the palm of your other hand. Make sure to do this on both hands. Step 9. Rinse your hands with water. Your hands are now clean and safe. Step 11. If you are at home, dry your hands with a clean towel. If you are in public, remember to open the tap with a single-use towel. Throw it away, dry your hands with a new single-use towel, close the tap with it, and throw that away too. Stay safe, friends, and thanks for watching.
Okay, so there we go. There is a video to help us to make sure we're washing our hands correctly. Oh dear. There we go. Okay, to the next slide. So this is your task for today. You have learned about washing your hands, okay? We watched the video. We've also learned about some scientists that did lots of work towards germs, okay, to help us learn more about germs. So you are going to create now your own poster, okay, to tell people all about how important it is to wash your hands and how to wash your hands, okay? So you can use the information from the video. You can also use the information that I've sent you on the document Year 2 Science 1st of July Resource 2. Okay, so there's lots of information about washing your hands on there. You can also include maybe some information about Joseph Lister as well, because he was very influential in this area. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing the posters that you create all about washing your hands. And next time you wash your hands, make sure you're following that video and washing them all over to make sure all of your hands is washed. Okay, well, have a lovely rest of your day, Year 2, and I'll see you in our next lesson. Bye.